Before the smoke rises and the first tender strand falls apart beneath your fork, pulled pork carries a story older than any recipe card in our kitchens. It begins in the Caribbean, where the indigenous Taino people slow cooking meat over wooden frames called barbacoa, the earliest roots of barbecue. When the Spanish explorers arrived in the 1500s, they brought pigs to the shores of the American South, hardy and clever animals that thrived in the wild. Over generations, pork became the heartbeat of Southern cooking. But the soul of pulled pork, the low heat, the patience, the mastery, came from African American pit masters who transformed tough cuts into tender strand of smoky perfection. Their hands, their fires, their traditions shaped the dish we know today. By the 1800s, pulled pork meant community, shared at gatherings, reunions, and celebrations across the South. And today, every time we pull apart that warm, glistening meat, we're touching a story that crossed oceans, cultures, and generations. I search endlessly for pulled pork recipes and cooked several until the meat fell apart in my hands. I wanted the version that felt true to the origins, the one tender enough to honor the story and to share with you. And today, I'll show you how, together with my daughter Julia, we made our pulled pork. 5 pounds of pork shoulder, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of ground mustard seeds, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 3 teaspoons of salt, a half a cup of olive oil. You mix the dry ingredients well with the olive oil until it becomes a smooth, fragrant paste. You take the paste and massage it gently into the meat, working it into every little crease so the flavor settles deep inside. Afterwards, you flip the pork shoulder and repeat the same massage, working the paste all over so every side is coated and every crease is filled with flavor. Once again, you flip it back and make sure all that goodness is tucked into place. Every bit of flavor held right where it belongs. Place the pork shoulder onto a pan. Next, wrap the pork shoulder tightly with plastic wrap, sealing in all that goodness so the flavors can settle deep into the meat. Nicely place it in the fridge for 24 hours, letting it rest in the cool. After 24 hours, take it out of the fridge and let it come back to room temperature. Give the meat a moment to wake up so the flavors can open and breathe. In the meantime, you should have onions cut in half, nestle across the bottom of your oven-proof pan, creating a gentle bed for the pork to rest on. Add 2 cupfuls of vegetable broth, letting it pool around the onions, a soft, savory cushion that keeps the pork tender as it cooks. Next, you gently lift the pork shoulder and settle it onto the onion bed, letting it rest on that fragrant cradle as it prepares for its long, slow journey. Any juice released from the pork, just pour it over the top. It's time to seal it in its chamber. In a preheated oven at 300 Fahrenheit or 150 Celsius. After 5 long hours, this is the moment of the first reveal. The quiet unveiling you've been waiting for. Look at this amazing pulled pork. Now we put it back in the oven, uncovered, for another 15 minutes, giving the top a chance to deepen, glisten, and gather its final touch of magic. At this point, you can see the pork shoulder glowing with its perfect color, ready to move gracefully into the next step. The next 2 clips are untouched. My daughter gently pulling the pork apart while I soak in every second of our first truly successful pulled pork moment. A little memory unfolding right before us. Okay, those are pull apart tools.
Claws, whatever they are.
But now you're going to grab it and you're going to lift. Ooh,
It's challenging.
It's challenging.
It's okay, we'll do a little bit at a time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever you can. Wow. It's falling apart.
Which is exactly what you want.
Wow. Now what we're going to do, I think the best thing is to remove the onions. Whoever wants onions in the thing, they can put it.
Yeah.
And we will shred it, and we're going to put it back in with the juice.
Yeah.
Okay. That looks good.
I feel like this needs to be done a little bit at a time.
Yes.
And then transferred.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's not enough space here, so let me move this over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I
should have had my selfie stick. It would have been easier. Okay, so. Next, we lift the onions out and set them aside. Their sweetness ready to join the story again soon. Next, the pulled pork slips right back in with its juices, settling into that tender warmth where the flavor deepens and the story continues. For the final touch, we add hickory and brown sugar barbecue sauce, or whatever favorite sauce makes your kitchen feels like home. We give it a good mix, letting all those flavors come together like old friends, finding each other again. There you have it, my friends, our first pulled pork creation, made con amore, from our kitchen to yours. for our coleslaw recipe, that little story will have its own video, a fresh moment all on its own. For the next chapter of my story, we'll turn the page in another video. Today I shared a little history behind our pulled pork, and that's enough for this moment. But keep watching because every recipe on my channel carries a story, and every story carries a memory with a flavor. Ciao, my friends.